Okay, I really hope that these birds having their church service this morning are not too loud, but I just really need to film this, and I just really need to say what I'm about to say. And I tried to film this, like what, 2 days ago? I just don't know how to organize my thoughts. I don't really know what to say. And I had all these thoughts and emotions in my head, and I couldn't match them to words to come out of my mouth, so I just scrapped it and I said I'll come back another day. I don't have to do this right now. But I don't even know if I was gonna film that video and post it anywhere, because I have this thing with, I'll say it this way, I've had mentors and trainers in the past year who have taught me that I do not have to silence my frustration for anybody else's comfort. They have told me that it is okay to be angry that America treats black women and black people the way that they do, and it is okay for me to be vocal about how I feel personally. I don't always have to speak on behalf of the group, and I don't always have to try to be politically correct for the sake of the group. I can speak from my own experiences and exactly how I feel. And so the way I've been feeling recently is really compelling me to just share how I feel, no matter who is listening to me. I just need to get some things off of my chest. So if I do decide to include some of the clips from what I said earlier, you may notice that my hair is different. And I have braids in my hair now. And that may seem so, like, it doesn't matter, like, get to the point, but it does matter, and it is a part of the point. I went to a protest today, and I went out and I was so, like, happy that everybody was there, and I was so happy for all the support. But when I came home, I had a lot of built up stress and aggression inside of me. And I had to find a way to calm down. I had to find a way to get it all out, in a way that I commonly de-stress, in a way that I commonly deal with my problems in the world, is I just get some braiding hair and I braid it out. I just braid my hair up. I take the hours and hours of time that it takes me to do it, to just really think out my life and think out the things I'm going to do. There's been a lot of controversy in the recent years about cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation, and braids and natural hairstyles that black girls have used historically and currently and everything have always been a topic of white women wearing braids and things like that. And so when I do my braids, not only am I de-stressing by taking a moment away from my social media and things like that, I'm connecting to myself. I'm disconnecting from the world, and I'm connecting to myself and my ancestors in a way. And I don't know if I'm going to sound crazy when I say it, and I don't know what it's going to sound like, but this is just how I feel. When I braid my hair, I think about the research I have done in the history of my people, and how different braiding styles and different cornrows could mean so many different things for different tribes. You know, I don't have the privilege of knowing exactly where my family is from. I don't have the privilege of knowing what tribe my family is from. I can't go on Ancestry.com and they can't tell me exactly who I'm from. I can't look up my last name. My last name is White. What person in Africa do you know who had the last name White? I know exactly where my last name came from. It came from whoever owned the slaves on the plantation that my family was living on. I can't figure out how Abraham Lincoln is my third cousin twice removed. I can't do that. I don't have that luxury to know exactly where it came from. And so I find my peace in watching series like Roots whenever they come on BET, to feel like if I can't feel connected to my actual ancestors, at least I can feel connected to the people. In that I feel connected to my blackness when I braid my hair. And I think about how my mom used to braid my hair when I was little and I was too young to do it by myself. My black mother used to braid my hair and it used to hurt so bad, and she used to call me tender-headed, but now I do it to myself because it's all a part of the cycle. I think about the journeys that my people, when they were back in Africa, probably used to go on with braids that communicated so much to people, and carried things and carried on traditions. And I think about how I can't be a part of that because my culture was ripped from me years ago, and I can't be a part of that, and there's no point in dwelling over that. But I think about about what I can do and how I can feel connected to my ancestors and the people before me. And that's just doing my braids. And that's just when I do braids. That's how I feel closer to my blackness. I had something else to say. I didn't always get de-stressed from doing my braids. So I used to get stressed from getting braids because ever since I was little, I was good, you know. I was always wanting to be the good girl. I always wanted to please other people. I didn't want to give people a reason to dislike me. I didn't want teachers to have a reason to dislike me. I wanted everybody to like me, and I didn't want anybody to have a problem with me. I'm shivering because it's a little cold out here, and I'm a little anxious saying all this stuff. But I always wanted everyone to be good with me on good terms, of course, ever since I was little. And so when I got into middle school, and I've always been aware of my blackness. I've always been aware that I'm black. But at some point, I was aware that the world hated me being black. And that's when I realized, oh, if the world is going to hate me for being black, then I can just try and fix that as much as I can, right? Just like I can fix everything else. If people think I talk too much, I can talk less. If people think I'm too loud, I can be quieter. Everything, if somebody doesn't like something about me, I can fix it. And so when I realized that something the world didn't like about me was me being black, I said, okay, I can't change my skin color, but I can disconnect from being black. So I never wanted to go to school with braids. I wanted to straighten my hair. I didn't know how to wear my hair curly. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. I could not wear my hair in braids to school. It was a no-no. And you know why it was a no-no? I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm just going to be honest. It was a no-no for me because I saw braids the way that society told me to see them. I saw my black culture in the way that society told me to see it. I saw it as ghetto. I saw it as ratchet. I saw it as rowdy. I saw it as loud. I saw it as angry black women wear braids and they put all kinds of colors in their hair and they go and they make noise and they cause ruckus and they're ratchet and they're ghetto. And I said, the world hates black culture. The world hates ratchet ghetto girls. I'm not going to be a ratchet ghetto girl. I'm never going to wear braids to school. I would wear them in the summer when nobody could see me, but I'd never wear them to school. And then I realized, I had a moment, I can't remember the exact moment, but it was in my AP seminar class in my junior year of high school when, I don't know if we were talking about ancestors or something in class, but it hit me that there was a void in my heart, somewhere deep. And I was so angry and upset that people in my class could talk about who they were. I do remember. My teacher was talking about her ancestry. I was jealous. I was so jealous that people could talk about and know exactly who they came from and how they were related to George Washington in this obscure way. And I was sitting there like this. I was like, I think my family is from Ghana, but I tell people they're from Savannah because that's where my dad's family lives. I have no idea, and that was so enraging to me. I was so upset. I was like, I've done nothing wrong to America, yet my history has been erased. I do not have history in this country. My ancestors built this country as slaves, were kidnapped, brought over here, raped, murdered, tortured, beaten, built this country, and I don't know it, and I don't know a thing about it, and I can't put my finger on who it was. I can't say anything about it. And so I think that was the moment when I really started embracing my blackness, and I said, why am I gonna hate myself because the world tells me to hate myself? Heck no. The world wants us to hate ourselves. The world wants me to hate me because it recognizes how powerful I could be if I didn't hate myself. These people, these racist people in power, they want to keep us down because they realize that the second we understand the power that we have as a black community and as black people, as individuals, we are so strong. And the moment that we understand our strength and the moment we start using that strength, they are terrified. They should be scared. They really should be scared. Because we are powerful as a people. Our community has been through so much, and we are still here fighting for our lives. We have not given up. Do you understand the strength behind that? I'd be scared. I'd be scared if I was them trying to hold us down. Because once we realize and we tap into this, once we just tap into whatever we need to tap into, and we understand our strength, and we finally unify together, I'd be terrified. I would be terrified to be on the other side of that. I would be terrified to not be on supporting our community when that time comes. But yeah, so then I started doing my braids whenever I could. I always want to do my braids. I always want to do my braids now. And so I de-stress, and I get in touch with my blackness, and I get in touch with my ancestors, and I do my braids when I need to calm down. And it makes me think about how I love myself, and how I love my blackness, and how sometimes I wake up in the morning, especially when things like this are going on, I wake up in the morning and I say, if somebody gave me the option to choose if I wanted to be black or white tomorrow morning, what would I choose? I ask myself that a lot. And in the midst of things like this going on, a lot of times I am tempted to say I would choose to be a white woman without a shadow of a doubt. Immediately, I want to wake up and be a white woman. A white man, maybe, but a white woman, if I had to choose to just change my race, I would definitely wake up tomorrow and choose to be a white woman. And I would go to every job interview, and I would go walk into every room, and I would be as loud as I could, unapologetically, and I would relish in the privilege. But I recenter myself, and I do things that remind me that my blackness is not a weapon. My blackness is my peace. And I can firmly say that I would choose to be black tomorrow morning if I woke up. And I won't let society convince me otherwise. I won't let these racist people convince me otherwise, that I don't want to wake up and be black. I want to wake up and be exactly who I am. But I had other things that I wanted to talk about. So I already said the ability to find my ancestors. It's really something that irks me. Having to prove my humanness to you, but it'll never really matter. That's what I wrote. This is one of the things that really kind of, I guess you could say, irks me about this whole situation with police brutality and racism, just in general. In, I would say America, but in the world. It's just knowing that when I walk into a room, they're already, just based off the color of my skin. It's not anything that people have heard about me or anything like that, that I have to prove myself, right? And so I have this kind of list in my head that I run through of, if I were to be killed in a racist incident, what are all the things that people would say about me, you know? I look at the way that they have treated George Floyd's name in the media. And I look at the way that they have treated other people who have died due to police brutality, other black people. I look at the way that they have treated their names in the news and in the media. And I look at the way that as soon as a black person is killed due to police brutality, people are all of a sudden digging into their lives and trying to figure out, okay, if they didn't do anything in the moment that justified their murder by police, they had to be a criminal in their everyday life. And they dig into these people's lives, and they find things that they've done, and they try and find these terrible, heinous acts that would justify the police going after these people. As if terrible acts make someone less human. And in cases like George Floyd's, and may he rest in peace, and condolences to his family and everyone who has been affected by this, the whole black community. But in cases like his, when they tried to say it was a forged check, and then it turned out to be a fake $20 bill, and then it turned out to be not a fake $20 bill. This man was guilty of nothing. He was a completely innocent man. They find out that he is a leader in the community, and he is this great man, and people scream it from the mountaintops. They scream, "Why did you kill this great man? Why did you kill this great man? Why did you kill this great man?" And I love that he was a great man. I love that for him, and I love it. But what if he wasn't a great man? Does that mean that he deserved for his life to be taken over a misunderstanding? I think about what would happen if I was killed by the cops tomorrow. What would people say? They would say former class president, member of the community, runner at. But why can't they just say human being? You know? Why do I have to qualify my humanness to people who don't even care? Why do people on the internet and on Twitter and on social media say, you know, I have black friends and they are this, that, and the third, I understand the sentiment behind it, but it is so exhausting. It is so exhausting knowing that I need to be living my everyday life, building up a resume just in case something happens to me, that people have good things to say about me. Because me being black and being a human is not enough. Me being black and human and innocent is not enough. It's not enough for this justice system, and it's not enough for this world. When I wake up black, I have to wake up black and innocent and nice and kind, and I can't have a bad day, and I can't do countless things. I can't jog in my neighborhood. I just can't exist. I just can't be human. And I think that is the root of all of this, is that my beautiful friend who I love so much, who I know has, my beautiful friend who I love so much, who I know whatever struggle I deal with, hers is going to be even worse because I experience privilege due to my skin tone. Isn't that so crazy? That not only are people racist due to your skin color, but they take it an even deeper level, and they really go detailed. They pinpoint it on you. And there's this thing called colorism. And I know her and her beautiful dark skin walk through this life, and she experiences whatever I experience, but worse. And I know the town she came from did not treat her as kindly as my town treated me. But to get back to my point, I think it is crazy that we can go to a school like Texas A&M, and she can be one of the only black students on this team that she is on, and her white teammates can so casually say, "No, but you're one of the good black people." It is crushing. It is soul crushing to hear something like that. Because no, she's not one of the good black people. She's just one of the good people. She's just one of the good people. And she should not have to be so nice and so caring and so generous and just so thoughtful about every single person in her life. She shouldn't have to do that to qualify her for human rights. And I live by that I could be the most low down, dirtiest person you've ever met, and I'm still a human. But as a black person, I shouldn't have to qualify being a human for you to make you comfortable. What about making me comfortable? That's all I really had to say. And if you can go on about your way and not care, like if you don't understand what this is really about by now, you're really sending out a very strong and a very powerful message. In the age of the internet that we live in, and so many black people willing to give you their time and relive through their trauma to tell you their stories, if you don't understand and if you don't get it by now, then that tells us everything we need to know. That tells us that you don't want to understand. If you don't get it by now, that tells us that you don't want to understand. Too many black people have recounted their trauma and recounted their experience and done the research for you, put it into books and articles and YouTube videos and podcasts that you can go and listen to it so easily. So if you don't understand by now, it's clear that you don't want to understand. And that's your privilege speaking, because you don't have to. You don't have to understand what I go through. You don't have to understand what anybody goes through. That's your privilege. But at least try. Okay, that's all I had to say. I'm off my soapbox. Bye. Spread love. Try and understand somebody today. Put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Okay, bye. But all in all, I think what I'm really trying to say is I'm just tired of being black in America. I just want to be in America, you know? I just want to be a person, a human being who happens to live in America.